Chen.
Good, good. He screwed the introduction, but hello everyone, and welcome back to BTZ's Summer Cup. BTZ, that's right, is Beyond the Zoo. I'm Killer Pigeon, and I'm joined by Lizard. We've taken over the channel, and we will be here all day to bring you all the action. First off, 20-min AFK versus Singularity. And we've got a day ahead of us. 3 best of 3s today, Liz. You up to this?
I'm down, man. I have a sore throat still, but I want to watch some dotes. After the TI quals, I definitely want to watch some Crystal Maiden.
It's
man.
back again.
I mean, honestly, this hero, dude, this hero should be first ban. It should be like first phase ban 100% or first phase pick. And 20-min AFK or less on Echo, he understands it, he picks it.
Can I just point out to you guys, he's not exaggerating. He genuinely feels this way. He's absolutely on board with this. I tuned into his stream for a moment last night, and what was he doing? He was spamming CM.
Dude, my first game, Crystal Maiden, I went 12 to 1 to 24. I was level 10, minute 7. And I was a position 4 Crystal Maiden. This hero just does so much on the dual offlane. It's ridiculous. The Crystal Nova slow, and the damage buff is just way too much. The thing is, you aren't harassing one hero but 2, because it's an AoE spell, and you have mana regen in your aura to always spam it. Yeah, you don't get, like, I even go 202 right now with her, so I have 2 in Crystal Nova. It's just ridiculously strong, and there aren't many lanes that can lane against her. However,
that might be one though.
Yeah, so you have the Beastmaster and Crystal Maiden. If they go this dual offlane, they are really strong. Like, they have a lot of harass between the two of them. But between the Chen and Lycan, the thing that Chen does is he kind of forces Crystal Maiden. If Chen is safe lane, he forces Crystal Maiden to take Frostbite. And in the current meta, you really don't want to do it. But she might have to, because you have to deal with the creeps of Chen. And with a Frostbite, you can just solo kill a creep. On the other hand, you have this Lycan, and the amount of regen that he brings on the lane just by his passive is kind of hard to deal with, even for such a potent combo as Beastmaster and Crystal Maiden. So yeah, it's fun openings. I just want to see where this Chen is gonna lane. That's gonna show a lot. So when it comes to bans, we have in the second phase we have the Invoker ban, and we have a Bloodsuka ban. Invoker, yeah, the Invoker has made a comeback, right, with the Quas Wax.
Yeah, cool. It's the talent. That's the ridiculous part, I think, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And yesterday we saw one Invoker, but he went Exort, and he kind of got destroyed on the lane, and he couldn't make a comeback. And it isn't really what happens with Quas Wax Invoker. If you're Quas Wax, yeah, you can't really... The thing is, you don't have to instantly go for Quas Wax. So you can take a level in Exort to farm, because you can't really lane versus 90% of heroes. It's Quas Wax early on. You can't CS. But later on, I think Quas Wax just transitions so much better into the mid game and the late game. With the Vessel, just walking around, finding pickoffs. Yeah, I really like the Invoker ban. On the other hand, you have the Bloodseeker ban. Just a very powerful hero overall, and also very strong versus Lycan. The dog cannot run if he's ruptured, so that makes a lot of sense.
That works against the Chen and Lycan army, I guess. The Gyrocopter picked up. Did get a slight nerf with the talent being changed to the flat cannon one, so you don't get that anymore. But still, once you get enough damage, you can easily just wipe out the entire wave.
Overall, I agree with you. Gyrocopter is a decent hero to play against both Lycan and Chen. However, on the other hand, he's susceptible to ganks early on. Chen can get a few creeps and go to that lane and just destroy him early on, because that flat cannon doesn't really do a lot to creeps super early. And I believe this is going to be the dual offlane, the Sand King Chen. It's one of the old ones, right? Old ones. Let's say 3 months ago. This was, yeah, this was like.
Hey, the new patch cycle means old statement has changed. It's no longer half a year. Okay, it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like a month now.
Month max, right?
Yeah, now even like weekly patches that are happening between the TI until the TI.
Gyro's just there, like, it was like 5 years ago when I was Gyro. It was about 3 months ago.
About 3 months ago, this hero was broken. Imagine what Tiny could say, man. Like 3 months ago, first pick, first ban. Now completely forgotten, picked once in a year.
Speaking of things that did get banned quite a bit, at least like during MDL, Kunkka was right up there. People seem to have moved away. I think, would you say, the thing I've noticed is it's very good at starving the mid opponent, right? Because the denies with Tidebringer. But the transition is always awkward because unless you stay ahead of the curb, you like don't have enough damage to go for that crit build. But that's all anyone ever really aims for.
Yes, like a very strange hero indeed, just as you said. On the mid lane, you can completely dominate the deny game, at least with the Tidebringer. Let's just see this pick. All right, it's a Bane. Well, it doesn't reveal all too much, to be honest. But back to the Kunkka. He dominates the deny game in the mid, in the laning stage, but after that, as you said, it's always kind of awkward to see how he transitions. If he manages to actually have a decent mid game, because that's where he falls off, this hero just goes out of control. And those crits, they are good and they are great, but on the other hand, you have a boat, you have X marks the spot, you have the torrent. All these spells are kind of good for your team, and yeah,
that's kind of the thing. Hero. Like, I think it's like unless you can, like I said, unless you can stay ahead of the curb, the crits don't pay off quite often. So it feels like this is the type of hero that should be building things like the pipe, the mech, the items that would benefit the team because the boat buff is your strongest part later on. But I think when I said this to a few pro players, said that's actually a fair point. But the biggest problem you're going to run into is how many mid players do you know that build like that?
Yeah, it's very unlikely that you're going to see a mid player right now build any utility on his hero. Like it just doesn't happen. What you can see is like every now and then someone is going to make a hood, but that's it. No transition into pipe unless you're Envy or something. So yeah, it's very unlikely to see a Kunkka going full utility if he's played on mid. That's for sure. But on the other hand, we kind of are neglecting the fact that this just as well might be a position for Kunkka. It isn't impossible.
That's true.
Like, it's somewhat unlikely, but they have a last pick and they can use it for their mid. So it could be a position for Kunkka. Yeah, Morphling, man. Called it yesterday.
There you go. See? Yeah, the true oracle has been revealed. Okay, you were a day ahead of the curve. So we have we've got Morphling, no new PL ult coming in, but I mean,
yeah. Actually, it is.
Wait, this could be either way. This could actually be either way.
It's mid. It's mid,
okay,
Zeus. It's position 5. I think Soneko plays position 5 in this team, right? Or is it?
I feel way too greedy to make Crystal Maiden pos 4 and a Kunkka 5.
Yeah. The way Crystal Maiden works right now is she has a lot of farm regardless because of the Crystal Nova. You can actually farm waves very decently and shut them out. So in some way you actually do find farm eventually. It doesn't matter what position you are. While Kunkka, yeah, you can do the same, but he kind of struggles a bit without items, right? So it's probably a 4 Kunkka, 5 Maiden. 5 Maiden plus Zeus is actually oh god, this is gonna be.
Hey, we saw this. We saw this yesterday. That was the game 1 against Vega. It was 9 playing Zeus. They had the Crystal Maiden support, and we saw the effect. Actually, it's like the spammability was insane.
Yeah, this could be very cheesy. Like the Zeus gets so much mana regen from Crystal Maiden's level 2 aura. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. On the other hand, we didn't talk about the Morphling. It's definitely one of Nico Baby's best heroes, I think. Like he used to spam Morphling a ton, and it's actually gonna be a mid Lycan, I believe, right? Is it a mid Lycan?
That's the question that needs to be answered. I imagine it is. I wouldn't want to stick a Morphling mid against this.
No, it's gonna be safe lane Morphling, and all right.
All right, let's. I don't know if we should translate that, but okay.
I mean, they're not Serbs, but they're actually swearing on Serbian.
Oh, okay. Well,
so that's actually very weird, and you definitely don't want to translate that. I could, but BTS, I don't think they would allow that. So yeah, let's
avoid it.
Let's avoid it indeed. It's not something you would like to
beyond the age rating, basically. But I think I was going to say the interesting thing is they could have potentially put the Morphling mid. Obviously, I wouldn't suggest it because you could get spiked down suddenly. But it's like once you have a wand, like Morphling is... Would you say second best hero to use wand behind Medusa? He's definitely high up there.
Yeah, you definitely benefit a lot from the wand, but at the same time, I think maybe he lanes a bit better on this top lane too. It's not an easy lane. Like top lane is not easy for... Oh, these voice lines, man! Like I can't talk.
If you can mute them, you cannot. If you mute the players, it stops them.
Anyway, Morphling has maybe a little bit easier lane on top than Lycan, but both of these heroes are not really very comfortable to play versus CM Beastmaster dual lane. While on mids, as long as you buy a wand on Lycan, I think you should be alright. You can actually last it versus Zeus very easily. I mean, anyone can last it versus Zeus. It's just the denies that are the problem. And actually, they're starting a tri lane. They're just going to leave the Beastmaster on top. And
they do have a lot of kill potential, but there's a ward spotting them already. So that's...
there's a ward already spotting them, and this Chen is not even going to come close. He's just moving away instantly. And he's spotted also by the ward, so...
I mean, Mikey gets hit out by the Torrent, but he shouldn't die from this. He should be able to move away. They did level Frostbite level 1, and you can already see the effects of CM's mana pool.
It's not really great, but what it did is it made the Chen instantly go away. You see where the Chen is. It's ridiculous. Like, his game plan right now is basically, I don't want to be where the CM is, and that's what he's doing. He's going to try and dodge her. However, she understands that, and...
She smells
Suneko is moving. Yeah, Suneko is moving towards him already. But this isn't really the best. The thing about CM versus Chen is, if you are forcing him to do this as Chen, if you are forcing him to just stand here behind mid, trying to do something, trying to make some pressure, you're already kind of making some space for your safe laner because he's not pressured by that same Chen. So you have this. Yeah.
Like what he's done there. Like he focused on getting rid of the Wild Wind Ripper because arguably that's one of the best creeps to get just to kind of passively dominate the lane.
Yeah, and Basho kind of decided not to. Instead, he went for the Centaur, which is a bit weird. The Wild King definitely can help you out earlier, and instead he's just rotating bottom. But this Gyro is already level 3, and he's
meanwhile top.
Decent,
Belial's first blood. Got trapped in the tree line and found by Nico.
So what we're seeing is basically team 20 minutes AFK is setting up their lanes and responding to these Chen movements, and they have to do it. They're responding with Crystal Maiden, and it's all right. However, at the same time, because of that, they have a dual melee offlane, and Kunkka just died because it's not really super easy to play versus Bane and Morphling as two melee, even if you are Kunkka and Beastmaster. So it's kind of it's a situation in which we are forced into.
They might get flow here. Oh, brains up. There we go, clean up the kill. It seems like this is going to keep happening as well. Valio gets burned down to half HP, and it's just that kind of power. Bane hits hard, like you're saying, this is a hard lane to be in anyway. The brains up means you can't really trade with him effectively, and the Nightmare sets up perfectly for Nico. Exactly.
So they just put themselves in a very difficult position, trying to respond to this Chen aggression.
Mastermind. Okay, he's got the stick. I quickly checked the mid. So, actually, I was going to say quickly, like, we haven't talked about mid, but we'll get to it in a moment. In the top, double torrent. Someone in trouble.
And on the bottom?
Oh, it looks like Chen might be in trouble, get stunned up. The Rock Barrage will finish him off. Mikey hasn't got a stun for another 2 seconds, but Ark is far too far gone.
Kunkka probably going to fall on top as well now.
Oh,
maybe not.
It's back and forth. I mean, the torrents are good. It's just throwing torrents in the exact same spot again and again. He'll TP out. In fairness, would you really think to look that way? Like, well, he's going to try and retreat the logical way. But no, Flow will get just out of range. In fact, Morphling didn't want to use the Mango. It's kind of awkward. That's something to be interesting to watch for the Morphling, is whether he focuses out the waveform or the adaptive strike. Because I think we've seen a lot more Morphlings move over to leveling out Adaptive Strike first, because, of course, if you max waveform, damage is about equal on the two, and the difference is you're using your escape mechanism to be aggressive.
on the bottom lane. Soneko, he's being Dolan.
Oh, Fire Strike, and he's surrounded. He'll frostbite the creep, but I think he knows what's coming. He might actually kill the creep, though. Goodbye.
Did he get it? I don't think so.
I don't think he did. The creep's got it, but it's still infuriating.
But it's all right, yeah. It still slows down this Chen. However, Dire is doing very well already, and they're basically winning top and bottom very convincingly. Yeah, Gyro is finding farm, but he's being pressured, and Sand King is getting a lot, while this Crystal Maiden isn't really. And on the mid lane, Mastermind is actually having no problems dealing with this Zeus. Yeah, he got low a couple of times, but he's still 3 CS ahead of him.
He's kind of past the point where he's friend, right? He's got the headdress, he's got 2 points in the Feral Impulse. Regen
and it's night, yeah, so it's very difficult to deal with him right now.
And I think that's the kind of case of like, where do you focus your efforts on 20-minute FK? Because it feels like the lanes are all going badly for them. Is the top their best shot?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think they have any killing potential on top. It's possible, maybe if Nico Baby steps out of line or something like that, but it's very unlikely that he's going to be able to die on top lane.
So they focus around the CM interactions, I imagine? Like,
basically what they are doing, they are forced to play the way they are playing, and they have to do it. CM, what she's doing is she's stopping the Chen from completely dominating bottom lane, but she's paying, she's dying for it.
Frostbite comes out. She'll get away, actually. Mikey's being sent back to base. Mastermind, he'll be able to finish off Soneko in the meantime, and we'll move across on the Magical. Can he hit him hard enough? Oh no, just short. One more hit might have actually done it, but that attack speed was very close. So slow.
He was very close. The Crystal Maiden is gonna pour top. She heard you, and they are trying to go for.
Oh, there's the Funny Wrath. Nico Baby was super low as well.
Yeah, if he was caught off guard there with maybe a little bit too much edgy gain, he could have died as well. That was very dangerous for him.
So mid lane is gonna just turn into a mess very quickly. I think. I think that's the one that's gonna get most out of control. Now that Lycan has 6, he can just start making these dives under shapeshift onto the Zeus.
Well, they're actually rotating mid. They smoked up and they wanna control him. It seems they're gonna run in straight and scout him out. I don't think this is what they were planning for, though.
Yep, Mastermind saw them. He'll walk away. He'll try and torrent, but it's off the mark, and he'll just escape. It just absorbs so much time, though.
Yeah, he broke their smoke. They've accomplished nothing. At the same time, Gyro is being completely pressured on bottom against the Sand King Chen combination, and on top lane, at the same time, Flow is being zoned out because their 2 supports are running together through their own jungle and accomplishing nothing right now. But they have to play this reactive. They have to play in this reactive style because of the Chen. He just forced so many actions already.
It's also looking a bit worrying from a level perspective because they are already starting to fall behind there. And at the like pre 10 minutes, levels is the biggest difference. It's not as much CS as it is the initial leveling.
Of course, definitely. And as soon as they move bottom, the Chen just goes away and he moves towards mid. The ward game from Dire is really good. This ward that they've got in Radiant jungle, just exactly. It shows them so much. It just helps them out. It just helps this Chen out to move accordingly. Just dodge these gangs.
They want him again. Try to move away. They might get him this time, but it's the time it's taking to get him. TP, and no chance. It gets the frostbite off. And Zeus even comes over to clean up the kill. The torrent will hold him in place, and Magical will take the kill.
He cleans up the kill. Classic
Nightmare
mid
on Arc. They got the stomp, and they'll hold him in place. Lycan rotates, and he finds a more worthwhile kill. And now he moves from the tier 1.
So what do you think? Is that worth it? Like, yeah, you got the Chen, but at the same time your Gyro died because your 2 supports were not supporting him. They were not there to help him out. So yeah, they are in a very difficult position right now.
Well, Bar Strike actually coming out on Soneko as well. He came a little bit too close. The torrent will fly, but Brain Sap finishes her off, and now Mikey wants to move away. Velio thought about using the X, but will save it for Mastermind. This is the kill that they want. He's doing a lot of damage, but not enough. He tries to move away. The Nightmare to protect. Might back off. Nope. Just surrounded. Too slow. The stomp on the other side of the fight. Magical doing a lot of damage, but will be protected as there was only the Centaur remaining.
Yeah, this is a really good Beastmaster rotation. And the Zeus also coming in. Like, they had to go bottom end. react to this. And yeah, Lycan did not have his form on, so it wasn't really too hard to kill him.
That's always the risk. Like, I think that's the kind of balancing factors. Those people still feel like Lycan is broken. This ridiculous hero is unfair. They nerf Shapeshift pretty hard over multiple patches.
Definitely. The cooldown got nerfed time after time, and the talents as well for I think the duration or something like that got nerfed. So the hero isn't really as strong as he used to be on bottom lane, though. They're going on Mikey.
I will draw him back, torn him up, but he's just too tanky. He could maybe turn around to Velior. Velior gonna TP right in front of Mikey, but no, Mikey doesn't use the Burrow Strike, still on cooldown. So he will make it out.
It was actually just a defensive X and Torrent because they saw Chen and Bane rotating in. So basically what they're doing now is they're rotating and putting Beast on bottom lane to soak up all this aggression while Jaro is kind of finding some free farm on top.
Well, he won't soak it up for long. They're already going to take the tier 1. And then I wouldn't be surprised if they start focusing on the mid tower. Of course, the most important one of the game.
Definitely. Usually what these teams do is they're gonna... Once there's a tier 1 on safe lane down, they just rotate towards mid. As you said, they ward up the jungle again. Maybe put ward somewhere behind that tier 1 and just transform all their aggression onto mid. Because that's the way they should be playing right now. This team, Singularity, the way they drafted is basically these 4... It's somewhat 4 protect 1, right? Because you will have this Morphling farming for quite a long while until he comes online. But at the same time, it's not really a big of a deal because you have a wolf on the mid lane. Using wolf form?
I mean, it's not a full moon tonight, but he will manage to turn himself into that werewolf. What can he do with though? Solon going to be held in place. No, actually, it's Bash Rock they get. They drag him back to the Torrent. They're chasing on Solon as well. He's going to be sent back to base. Will he get there in time? It's going to be a question. Nightmare to protect and buy some time. It buys just enough. But Bash Rock will not be so lucky.
Yeah, but at least they got the Bane out and they made them rotate everyone to mid. The problem was Sand King was not there. He wasn't ready. But at the same time, you had 5 people rotating mid, and that's good enough because, as we talked about this Morphling, he's finding complete free farm and he's on top of the network right now.
He's feeling pretty bulky. He's going for the Lincoln's first, which is understandable up against the Beastmaster and against the Crystal Maiden.
It's really good versus all of these heroes, versus X, versus Beastmaster, versus Crystal Maiden, as you said. So it's definitely the proper choice. However, once this Sand King, like in the last fight, we saw them use the wolf form just to kind of back out. They wanted to make an aggressive movement, but they couldn't because a team 20-minute AFK just responded the boat.
That's an interesting boat, and Nika Baby will appreciate the help with getting his CS.
Yeah, it's when you're playing versus Morphling, basically what you sometimes do is you try these moves hoping that he has a lot of edge shifted so that he doesn't have a lot of HP, and who knows, maybe you get him, but that's it.
Well, you kind of can't really go for the X combo because usually he'll either hit the shift or he'll waveform away in the middle of the pullback. Yeah, the X form doesn't really work. So basically, he didn't even have vision on Morphling, he just knew that he was farming there, so he just tried it. He just tried it from the fog, and that's it. However, Sand King is on 2.2k gold. He only needs 50 more, and he's gonna get it from this creep. He's gonna have his dagger. So, and this
now the game becomes...
I mean, it opens up the whole map for Singularity, essentially, right? Like, it's... Before you were playing around whenever Shapeshift's available, now you can just go with the Sand King every time.
Definitely. You can. There is a boat on Kunkka, and this is where he shines. This position for Kunkka really shines in this... in these mid-game engagements now that he has X on level 3, so he can catch people, and he also has the ghost ship ready. So we can't rule out 20-minute AFK's ability to fight in these mid-game engagements.
They just gave it away though. Shapeshift's been used. Mastermind wants to go in. Mikey's here as well. Blinks for Burrow Strike on the 2. Magical dying so quick. The Primal Roar coming out. They want to turn a Mastermind. The boat following in as well. He can't even get the kill Magical. He will finally die afterwards though, as the Wolves do just about claim him. Now moving forward, Seneko might be in a little bit of trouble. Flow though, they do actually root up on a Nico Baby. The Beam Script coming out, and there's the epicenter through. Arc is falling, and Seneko, one hit from death, will live, but guess what? Flow not so lucky. Hadouken punch through. They'll find it's Nico being chased down, and shotgun down by Nico. And they're just trying to melt him through, but I don't think it's going to work. And this is kind of the interesting thing, is right now...
Solon?
Yeah, Solon... Torrent's already used. He should... I don't know why he's doing that. He should just walk away. Now he will die.
he was trying to juke Magical's lightning bolt, but Magical just waited and then used
Hateful
it.
ends, man.
Yeah, that's it.
But the thing I was going to hit on was we saw the effect of the boat, right? That gave him a chance to flip around and get some kills. But as the game goes on, like usually I try and I'm a big arguer for how great the boat is throughout the entire game. But the problem against Singularity's lineup is they've got a Morphling. He's probably going to go for the E-Blade build. And the weakness of boat is nukes, because if the boat buff doesn't touch you in time, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. What I wanted also to talk about is how good Nico Baby was in that fight. Like yesterday, we were watching some carries, and they wouldn't join the fights in these early engagements, and the fight didn't really go too well for Singularity. They went on Zeus, but they couldn't really kill him on time. Bashuk on bottom lane, actually.
Well, I'll hit the boat on them. Torrent up. Boat wasn't really needed, but they get a follow-up kill on Mikey because he's frostbit on the spot and pulled back. They will stop the Sonic. Oh, but it won't matter. Mikey's actually going to fall in now. Magical. Chase one for Nico Baby. Nico Baby just trying to morph up to get away, but the X is going to draw him back, and he doesn't have a waveform for 7 seconds. Just trying to push Zeus away. Nice long stun, but the damage may already be done. There's going to be a Torrent X drawback, and they miss the mark. Waveform away. Nico. Lightning Bolt. One more tap with the axes. They'll finish him off.
The caster's curse. I was just about to say how well he's joining these early fights. Like, you usually don't join these early fights with Morphling. Well, you can right now because of the Morph, but usually you kind of wait at least that Lincoln's, then you're safe, then you can join whatever you want. And he did that so well on mid. He got a double kill, but here he just dies for a Soul Crystal Maiden kill, which isn't really... well, it isn't really very favorable if you're a carry Morphling.
I mean, it was kind of awkward. He was trying to help out. I think it was a bit of hero syndrome. It's like, no, don't let Mikey die. He needs to survive this. We see it from time to time. I think he just needs to focus on his farm. He needs that Lincoln's completed. I think, well, it was nice to see him join the earlier engagement. So far, not really a good track record of turning them around for his team.
Yeah, definitely. And they smoke up, they see him on the bottom lane, but I think they will run into Bashuk if they just continue running this way. He smells something. They want this tier 1 basically on bottom. They want to smoke up, they have the lane pushing in a bit. They want to put a ward and go for Morphling most
They're
likely.
getting around the back as well. This may be quite feasible.
Nice tree there. Nice calling blade.
Moving through. Going to slow him down. X hits. They'll draw him back. But maybe the boat. They drag him back in. They're actually going to miss the boat. Won't matter. The prone roll comes through. Nightmare to protect on the back foot. Arc does drop the cooldown just to scare away the Sand King. And now Nico Baby, he might want to get out. He actually turns into Kunkka just to hold him in place with the Torrent. And now the Epicenter coming across Mikey. Moving forward. The Burrow Strike does hit on the Sun Echo. Solon in the meantime will survive. But barely. Brain Sap out to get some more health, and Flow pushed back with that long duration stun means that Mastermind can run in, Wolf mode activated, and just finish off the kill. Chasing across for more, they're not done just yet. They want to see if they can get someone else. Velior? No, they won't be able to get him. The Burrow Strike was ready, but he didn't have vision.
I really like the way they wrapped around. They were smoked up. They wanted this tower. They wanted to fight in front of the objective so that they can take it afterwards. However, going on Morphling that's so far away and that's so close to the tier 1 is definitely going to be punished. Like, you cannot go on a carry that, like, they don't have any instant silences, right? So you can't really stop this Morphling from attribute shifting. And if you don't roar him on time like that, if your smoke disappears, I don't think it works. Like, maybe going for Morphling is not really so smart at the moment, at least, because he buys so much time that everyone else responds. They port onto the tier 1. Even the Wolf that was completely on mid comes on time and just turns the fight. So
yeah, it's kind of arguable whether he should be your first target because he's not got the shotgun yet. It's not like he's going to turn around instantly delete one of you if you don't get rid of him first. I feel like either the Chen or the Bane is an easy entry kill, and that should be your focus.
Like, right now, Morphling does the most with Morph, right? He morphs into someone, and that's when he does the most in these fights. But he's got the Lincolns now, and they want to defend the Smith Tower. He is smoked up.
Nico waiting around the top there. We're going to go in. Turns into Jar, Bar Strike connected on it too, and there's a torrent as well. Both turn around and the Thunder God's Wrath. They'll get rid of Morphling and Sand King. They just disappear. Primal Roar forward on the Mastermind. They want more. The X holding back Solon as well, so he can't assist. The cooldown comes down and Mastermind is surrounded. Solon hit by the rocket will fall as well, as Magical is just seemingly getting out of control with the amount of kills he's finding. He's not done just yet though. He wants Bash as well and he'll find him.
They had full vision advantage there. Full vision advantage. They saw everything. They initiated with Sand on 2, but they just disappeared immediately after. By Zeus, by the Torrent and both combo and Crystal Maiden's ultimate. And the gyros on top. So, yeah, they did initiate on gyro and whoever was next to him, but at the same time, it's really backfired really hard. It wasn't good.
I think that was the worrying part. I think it was Seneko who was next to him. I believe it was CM. And CM, you'd expect her to just disappear instantly, but you couldn't even drop her in that fight. The damage spike just coming out, and you got to give it to Kunkka, actually. That boat was perfect.
Perfect boat, and then perfect follow-up.
And he may now be in trouble. We may have given him too much credit, because he might not be able to get himself out. The boat's going to come in, he'll try and escape anyway. They dodge it out, they'll move forward. Mikey blinks in with a Burrow Strike. Crystal Node trying to slow him down, but it won't matter. Valior is gone.
Yeah, it's the caster's curse again, man. We need to stop.
Are you saying that I can go bet on these teams, and then if I say things will happen, they won't?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's it. That's it. If you see, like, remember, we said how good Nico Baby was early on, and then he dies in every engagement afterwards. It's happening, man. It's real.
Be right back in a second. There's a few websites I need to visit. All right, 200 on
Sell out. Sell out.
Hey, I didn't say what website.
Yeah.
But let's focus on what's happening with the net worth right now, because look at the huge change.
Yeah, Gyro is definitely in front right.
And Chen's gone. Primal Roar, Thundergod's Wrath, goodbye.
Yeah. So they do have this Shadow Blade. They have a way to initiate properly now with Flow as well, so they don't have to really go out of smoke to do it.
I mean, I kind of just got distracted by that net worth chart, because that's huge. Like, at this point in the game, 20 minutes in, that's a huge swing.
That's a huge swing, and all in the hands of Gyro, actually. Like, 10k in Gyro's hands. It's a lot. He has his BKB finished, so the Sand King stuns, yeah, they can happen, but they have to blow him up on time, or else they have to use the grip. But gripping someone in this game isn't too easy either. You have the Lightning Bolt to deal with it. You have the X from very long range to deal with it. So gripping a Solemn, it's just not gonna happen most likely. He's gonna have to be very careful where he positions himself. So the BKB is gonna do a ton, Gyro. Yeah.
I think you're right. He has way too many targets that he needs to do Fiend's Grip. Be able to Fiend's Grip. If that makes sense. Like, you can Nightmare one of them, but I mean, the Kunkka's gonna have the Torrent, which you can cast long range. You've got the Primal Roar, which is decent range. You've got Lightning Bolt, which is coming out from Zeus, which has ridiculous range with the Aether Lens pickup.
Yeah, what do you think about the magical Zeus? He's going for Veil of Discord instead of Aghanim's, actually.
I mean,
for Force?
I'm kind of okay with this. I want to see an Ags next. Like, this is where I draw the line, okay? You hear me, Magical? I'm fine with these 3 items, but if the next one's not an Ags, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, I completely agree with his items so far, though. I really like them, because the Ags is alright this game, definitely, but there's a lot of movement speed and a lot of ways to actually dodge it. But right now, after these 3 items, that would be my choice, definitely. I would go for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a form of escape or chase, he's got the buffed up damage, and the range is ridiculous. Like, this is... I feel like you could go for a blink, but that's just over the top. I don't think you need more catch.
About the what do you think about the runes? What do you think about the double damage? Oh, he's actually not going into the pit.
I mean, he can't go in the pit. Like, this is...
Yeah.
That's way too risky against this lineup.
It's super risky, but he was thinking about it. He took the double damage on the bottom lane. He could have farmed those Ancients, but no, he went towards top.
And now they'll go in.
But it's just as risky for them. Well, not just as risky, but there is a Sand King.
Also, they've got a ward down that should spot out the bird in the pit. They should know something's up. The Shapeshift been used. Mastermind getting ready to move in. And there's the Epicenter come through. Mikey doing a lot of damage. They will block Beastmaster straight away. Another turnaround with the boat coming in. Should do some follow-up damage. The grip is decent, but Ark already got the BKB off. And now you're trying to run away. But this freezing field doing so much work. Mikey will fall, and they will force the rest of them back. They had to buy back on the Beastmaster, but with that, they'll know that the Roche Pit is secure. Not done just yet. They're thinking about going for Nico, baby. They've still got the Primal Roar.
I think he should be fine. They're gonna be content by just taking Roche and going back, most likely. And like going into pit. Wait, they're porting bottom. They want to punish this Shen.
Bashrock's been pushing. Okay, you need to punish this. Valior coming around the back. Has got the X. Bashrock will not make it back to base in one piece. He'll be sent in pieces.
Also, Valhor's Kunkka, he has a Crimson Guard finished. Position 4 Kunkka already has a Crimson Guard. That's spooky, man. Like, he's gonna... Yeah, it's a lot. By the way, going into Rosh Pit in the current patch with the shrines, and going into Rosh Pit first, as long as none of your main cores die, is so big, because you have these shrines, and even if you died, basically what happened is Mikey on actually Flo on Beastmaster, he died first. They did blow him up, but at the same time, what happens? He just buybacks. Buybacks are so cheap actually that he buybacks sports onto the shrine and he's back into the fight. And now he's actually full HP, full mana. He's fighting. He has his spells while you actually used your epicenter and you use the grip on Gyro just so you can kill off the Beastmaster on time.
The threat primal will send them away. Now the threat primal will come back to bite them in the ass as Mastermind's being moved on to right now. They have got it available. He'll know they're about. He has got the shapeshift. Primal comes out. A lot of damage done. The home missile hitting as well. There's no chance that he gets to morph in, or shapeshift rather.
Yeah, that damage was just ridiculous there. What do you think? Actually, we talked about tags on Zeus. However, right now he has both Yules and Aghanim's in his quick buy, and I actually like this. Buying Yules versus Chen is kind of decent because it prevents him from sending people back. The thing is though, Chen did get nerfed, so his sandback is his holy persuasion sandback is no longer 3 seconds on level 4. It's 6 seconds on all levels.
It's pretty painful.
It isn't really, yeah, it's really painful. In maybe 15 days ago, that Lycan would have definitely survived because what 15 days ago? 7 days ago, Chen wasn't nerfed, and he would be able to send that Lycan back definitely. But right now, it doesn't work. Yeah.
You're just struggling to keep track of these patches, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, seriously. They're just happening all the time right now, so it isn't too easy, definitely.
I'm just having a moment of realization of my choice of words. It's like I wanted to refer to shapeshift as morphing. It's like, wait, that's an ability. You can't do that. There's so many abilities that are just words that you'd like to use, right? Like, yeah. I think my favorite one is cooldown is on cooldown. Like, every time, it's like, it just feels weird to say.
Cooldown is on cooldown? Alright.
Yeah. But, or Doom has used Doom. But, I mean, going
Doom
back to
Doom?
Mr. Cooldown, man, he's actually pushing in. They're going to go for the tier 2 as well. Do they just approach... They could potentially approach high ground off this, right?
Definitely. They have ages, but... there isn't really much they can do. Like, the high ground defense from Singularity is not great, but pushing high ground, it's always difficult. And Kunkka already ported back, so they're probably just gonna
They'll probably
roll
go for
back.
tier 2.
Right. They're happy with the tier 2. They took the tier 2. They also warded Dire's Shrine there, so they kind of see the movements and they can easily push out the other lanes and then take control of the map. Because it's not even just about taking the tier 3 on bottom. They could have stayed and pushed onwards. However, if they did that, they probably would have lost tier 2 on their top lane, and Morphling could have continued split push.
So I like what Velio's doing. He's actually, like, typically we'd expect to see a Blink pick up on a support Kunkka. Instead, he's going for the Vlads, which it fills his role better, right? Because right now, you shouldn't really need the Blink. You should be at the front of the fight. You've built a Crimson Guard. You're tanky. You should be leading the charge.
I agree with this item pickup, definitely. He's tanky enough to stand in front. It helps versus both Wolf and Morphling. It doesn't help versus E-Blade, though. We'll see.
I mean, he's pretty tanky anyway. He's probably the hardest person to kill in the team right now.
Yeah, definitely. He doesn't want to go on for him. Most likely, this Morphling is going to aim for either Zeus or for Crystal Maiden. And it's not Yules, it's not Aghanims.
I was about to say this.
Actually,
yeah, Aeon Disc.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fair dues. If you're worried about the Morphling bouncing them back into this, I can respect why you go for that choice. I still feel like the Aghanim Scepter is so damn good, though.
I completely agree with you, but he's gonna, if he survives the first aggression that they make on him, either it be the E-Blade from Morph, like the shotgun, or the Sand King going in with Epicenter Blink. If he survives that, he can just wreak havoc in the team fight, and that's why he's going for the Aeon Disc. I actually value this item so much. In my opinion, it's probably the thing that changed this game the most after Nullifier. So basically, Nullifier and Aeon Disc just completely changed the way this game is played.
I feel like we're going to see a hard nerf on Aeon Disc soon. Like, Like they've nerfed it pretty hard already.
Yeah, they already nerfed it for what, like 20 seconds, I think.
They added 25.
25.
Yeah.
25 seconds. Yeah, they added 25 seconds, and it justifiably, like it's such a good item. It's insane.
It's also as games as the meta transitions back to a later finish time, Aeon Disc is more likely to be picked up because it's essentially just so valuable as the game goes on, right? Because once you get to late game, you can kill someone in 2 seconds.
Yeah, it basically gives you another life. It just buys you that 1 split second so that you can heal yourself or blink out or someone comes in to help. Because let's be honest, yeah, he could have went for Yules, but that wouldn't necessarily be like a 100% save versus Morphling. It usually is. You can heal yourself if he goes on you, but it's not really.
It's
kind
of. Yeah. I guess you could say like a fair point is as well. They got Sanking. That's just giving him time to set up an epicenter. It's like great. You're staying in the air. I guess I'll just channel my ult and move across with a Burrow Strike, and then you're dead.
Definitely. And it doesn't really help if you get like dagger burrowed first by Sand King. It doesn't help with that. So Aeon Disc is definitely a better pick.
Hello, Primal out into Bash Rock. He did use the 4-star, but it didn't get him very far. Thunder God's Wrath, magical, secure in the kill.
Yeah, let's call it that way. Let's call it the secure.
Sorry, was just making sure no one was coming to interfere with the fight. That's what it was.
Yeah, but actually, that's more true because you can use Thunder God's Wrath and you should use it more often to gain vision where the enemy team is. And if he did go for that Shen there, he picked him off, just using the ult from Zeus to see where everyone else is, so that the Beastmaster isn't in danger and he knows which way to go back if they are going for a counter kill. In that aspect, I think it's much more valuable.
What you're saying is you're sick of Zeus's in your games, just waiting until you've almost got a kill.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, whenever I'm playing Zeus, I actually even waste it every now and then. You just waste the Thunder God's Wrath. It saves your teammates. If you feel like there's a smoke gang coming or anything like that, you can use that ulti just for vision. It has a very long cooldown, but still it's worth it if it saves your core.
I mean, you wouldn't think it. I was gonna say you wouldn't think it, but I agree, and I do exactly the same thing. Like, despite what you think of the lower ranks, Liz, there are some Zeus players down there that occasionally do not just steal kills of it. And it's like, you can use it at the start of a fight. It's the same value. It's just, you're not going to get the kill.
Define lower ranks, though. That's the ultimate question. Define lower ranks.
You know my policy. I don't calibrate, so people can't flame me.
How deep in the trench? Like, you are the worst, actually. Like, there's like, my... All right, we're going. Let's cut. Let's cut this. Let's not go there.
I mean, let's cut this at you are the worst. Thanks, Liz.
No. we had enough. Like, these guys that don't calibrate, man. They go into my games, like ranked 100 games, and they have this party calibration. You know, they're in party, and I'm like, what are you doing here?
Look at this smoke though.
Singularity. It's on the shrine.
Oh, they come around both sides. They'll jump straight into CM. They get the shapeshift out as well. But Torrent Bow is already on his way in. Shooting on the 2, but BKB out from last time. Nico beat BKBs as well. Fiend's Grip out Arc. He didn't get his BKB out. And the flat cannon stolen. So much damage being done. On the other side of the fight, Mikey does actually catch on the magical as well. He tried to go in on them. And as a result, left his team behind. And now, as a result, he will pay the price. The ultimate price, in fact. As Nico Baby cleans him up.
I mean, yeah, you're in front and you're playing so well, but you cannot do this. You cannot separate your team on 2 different sides, and one of those sides is actually on the Dyer's shrine. You're fighting on a shrine, and then at the same time, you're not there to save your Gyro from being gripped, and he just gets destroyed by Morphling's flag cannon, man. It was so
it was so weird to watch, right?
Yeah, very weird. I was watching it and I was like, this is beautiful, man. This is art. This is...
He's farming creeps and Gyro at the same time. What more do you want? But it's kind of like awkward issues. Like, I think what we saw was Zeus, it was like he's torn, right? Being pulled back and forth. Like, I must save the CM. I must save the Gyro. I must save myself. And by the time he made that decision, he couldn't save himself.
Crystal made him walking up there. Yeah.
It's very ballsy. And now, more ballsy. They move forward. The Burrow Strike connects. And Soneka, they spot him. Torrent Poe is coming in, but it's too late. BKB comes up, Nico, and you've already lost CM. And now you'll lose your tier 3 and probably your racks as well. Crimson Guard to try and slow it down. But Nightmare on a gyro means the Arc cannot get involved in the fight right now. Torrent is going to connect on the Mastermind. And the axes will fly through. They got the Primal Roar going to jump straight on the Mastermind. The gyro is using the flat cannon, but maybe not to great effect. The Hand of God used. BKB up on Mastermind. He'll be sent back to base. In the meantime, Nico does run down and kill off Flow. The X will drag him back. The Torrent will hold him up in the spot. But can they do enough is the question. Arc, he's going to be stunned up by Mikey just to create the space. Bash Rock is getting low, but not before he sends Nico back. But the X is there. They'll drag him back in. And they should be able to stun him up. Nico looking to wait for him away. We'll hide in the trees and look for the TP out. And with the Lincolns, he'll make it.
Almost there. He almost caught him with the
Bash Rock's gone, though.
Thunderbolt.
They'll get stolen.
Bolt.
They will get stolen as well, though. And like, yeah, they might have been close to that line of bolt, but at least they clean up the supports. They get a consolation prize, and they protect their racks.
Yeah, they protected the Raxes and they didn't buy back the Zeus, which is very important. They did buy back Kunkka, I think, right? He did die there and buy back. I'm pretty certain.
I believe he didn't.
Did he?
No, he didn't.
He didn't? Alright.
It's low spawn times, I'm sure.
Mikey, it was Mikey then.
No, sorry, yeah, it was, yeah, no, because no, Kunkka was at the back foot. He was like the tier 4s.
Yeah.
And then he dropped the boat.
So overall, while they were taking the Raxes, Zeus was dead. He had the option to buy back, but the thing was, Morphling still had his BKB on, and we have an Epicenter.
And Shapeshift, Epicenter jumping in. Gyro's just going to disappear here. Can't get the BKB off in time. It's too low already. But no, the turret boat, it won't save him. BKBs from Singularity means that they don't even give a damn about these stuns anymore. And now the Roche is theirs.
20-minute AFK is making some very ballsy moves, actually. Oh,
they move forward. Mikey, a little bit overly bold. Frostbite to hold him in place. Magical doing decent damage, but not enough. They'll have to back away. And with the Aegis claimed on Nico, baby, he is ready to come back into your base. He's ready to come hard.
As long as they have these BKBs on, they can definitely push high ground with Morphling. And 20-minute AFK was making so many good moves in the mid game. Like, they were really pressuring them hard. They were winning all the team fights. They were baiting on gyro, then using BKB, breaking rips, using the boat to save their cores. But now they're just making some very rash movements, like going into the Rosh Pit and Crystal Maiden, just moving onto the shrine. And when you're playing versus a team such as Singularity, you're gonna get punished definitely for those movements. And it's very interesting to see that it's still happening, for even when you have a captain seasoned like Soneko. He's interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna flame anyone. Just interesting moves.
It's a different style of playing to maybe winning. It is awkward right now because
different style.
Right? Yeah. In honest truth, right? Like, I think the issue here is the BKB timings have been reached, and now all of a sudden, this Kunkka isn't doing much work. He's not doing enough.
Yeah, the Kunkka isn't doing much work. Crystal Maiden is doing absolutely nothing. Zeus is useless versus the BKBs. So the BKB timings were on point, definitely. But still, those movements onto the shrine and this move into the pit, very risky moves.
And you can already just feel the sense of impending doom. Like, it's if you compare their movements over the last 10 minutes, AFK have just started to back more and more into their base, which is the signs of impeding death, I think. It is fair to say.
Basically, Singularity, they just have to waste their BKBs to take objectives right now. I think that's the right play. That's the only thing they have to do. Just completely storm down mid, storm down top with the BKBs, and that's it. Because you can get the pick off outside, definitely. That's an option too. If they allow it to happen, that's even better. But overall, I think just wasting those BKBs so that they have absolutely no damage versus you works well too.
I mean, Arc tried to slow him down by using the illusions to cut the creep wave top, but it's like one creep wave is enough. It's a double catapult as well. Nico could easily hit the high ground here. Definitely. And you're not even in your base.
He's even alone here, like he has no backup. But
does so much damage.
He doesn't feel threatened.
I mean, that's the thing, they're not going to get back in time. Like, Flow's here, but how do you get rid of the Lincolns? This is a costly mistake, and now they're trying to retreat too quickly. Belial's going to be left behind. The Torrent will buy him a little bit of time, but not much. The boat following through, but the damage already done. Mikey will stun him up, and one more tap should do the deal. He's buying time to jump on the Morphling. Nico baby down to half HP. The Hand of God is going to come out. The Nightmare to try and protect, but the Frostbite will hold him in place. Moving through, though. Mastermind, BKB's up. The Shapeshift still running. Will force the BKB out of Arc, and the Primal Roar does go on the Mastermind, but the Preem's grip in return does get interrupted, and now the flat cannon again. Nico baby, he wants to make some pretty effects here. He'll force the buyback on the CM. but can they get more is the question. Waveform in, he's not done just yet. He's still got that Aegis. The stun is going to be long enough flow. The irony of Primal Raw Man being hit up like the Pyro Strike through will be enough to secure the kill. The freezing field almost instantly interrupted. Will at least pop the Aegis. Can they turn around and get a second drop on an Eco? Probably not. With full strength, he should be able to move away. The Frostbite will hold him in place. Force stuff getting back. Epicenter challenged by Mikey. He wants to go to the Pyro Strike straight on top of Ark. He's ready to use the BKB. He can't use the Satanic in time. And Mastermind, he eats the cheese. Blow could not help him at all. The Yules would not be used because he was nullified. And
there's no buyback on Gyro. Like, they can just decide to go for this, actually.
They're not. They're backing away.
But yeah, they're just gonna go back. Well, yeah, it's a proper move. The bottom is pushing, so they can just push out that wave, get the BKBs on again, and then go for it. Like, you actually saw the power of Zeus. Morphling used his BKB to take... While they were killing Kunkka mid, well, you guys were watching that, Morphling was just taking Rexes on top solo. Like, he just took the melee Rex versus 4 of them. And there's absolutely nothing they can do against him. He has BKB Lincolns, he just took them alone and then fell back and then they fought. However, when they fought, both Mastermind and Morphling did not have a BKB. And maybe if it was a little bit better position for a 20-minute AFK, they could have taken that fight, because once the BKBs are down, Zeus does so much. And an opening is going to present itself a bit later on when these BKBs go to 5 seconds. Like, Morphling is on 6 seconds right now, and so is Lycan. So, very soon, if they manage to take some fights outside of their base, so that the objectives, the Rexes, don't fall while the BKBs are up, maybe 20-minute AFK can turn this. It's hard, it's a long shot, but they're not out of this yet.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Like, yeah, they're not out of this yet. We saw the damage, like you said, that they could do. It is demoralizing, though, when you have that kind of scenario. Like you said, it was 4 versus 1, and the closest like they came to killing him on their own was getting him to half HP. And that's... So they've got to kind of shake that off in their mindset and realize, actually, at the same time, these BKBs, they are getting low. Suddenly, this lineup on Singularity are pressured to finish quicker because they're still not a full lane up.
Yeah, they just have one lane on top, and it's only melee Rexes, so it's definitely not over.
But they might look to push him for more. They don't have the Aegis. They know Gyro's not there. They need to see at least one person out on the map that they can pick off. It's kind of that state of... This is typical state of the game when you get past 30 minutes, right? I don't want to go high ground unless I've got a pick off or I've got an Aegis.
Exactly. You don't want to really push versus Zeus and Gyro. They are basically one of those heroes that it's very hard to push against. And it's very hard to do any sort of aggression versus Kunkka too. So if you can't kinda go for high ground. If you kinda go for high ground, Kunkka is definitely gonna X-mark you, and you're gonna be forced to fight. Instead, they fall back, they ward around Rosh, they have this ward on the top shrine, and maybe they're gonna put another one around the Ancients, so that when the Roshan respawns, they can take it easily. But overall, they are giving some space to Radiant team. 20-minute AFK.
Like, you should know what 20-minute... You should know it's 20-minute AFK. There's an Iron Talon, okay? Like, that's the giveaway.
Iron Talon? Alright.
Yeah, that's definitely 20-minute AFK. That speaks mind. Like, that's the perfect emblem for this team.
AFK, Iron Talon. Oh!
Now it makes sense. You're going to the Jungle Legion. You're not going to be in the fight for 20 minutes.
Now I understand. I actually thought it was them being AFK on high ground for 20 minutes. But, alright, I get it. I get it.
I mean... To be honest, the high ground AFK didn't happen until after 20 minutes. But, you know, fair point.
But, yeah, for 20 minutes, you know. It's going to last for 20
Oh, there you
minutes.
go. So it's like full 20-minute count by the end of the game. It doesn't matter how long the game is.
Exactly.
I can see that. Like, that's kind of the state of a lot of games. It's not exactly... We're not flaming this team, just to clarify. This is the state of the meta, right? Is when you start to fall behind, you have... You're reactionary. You have to get a good reaction to a move by... the team ahead.
I mean, exactly, and you can see how careful both of these teams are. Even Dire, that's in front, and they know they have this game in their clutches. They're actually all together. You can see the way they're farming. Morphling isn't farming at all. He doesn't need anything. That's how he's playing. While Lycan is the only one that's pushing out the lanes. He can get this AC, and it can help them out. But they are all together around that Lycan while he's farming. There are no heroes somewhere on the other side of the map, just split pushing or trying to push in the waves. And the same goes for Iron Talon. They're around mid, they are S5, they're just waiting for stuff to happen. Because sooner or later this rush fight is gonna happen, and they don't want to get picked off before it.
I think it might be sooner than you think. As you said, they're smoked up. They're moving in now. But look at this move from Singularity. They're going to go right around the back. The bird will spot them, but they ping it out. And they use it to their own advantage. This bird is one of ours now.
Spy bird.
Betrayal. And
Real
the
traitor.
smoke is more or less wasted. They can't do anything with it. And Roche is now up. Something that Singularity know, but 20-minute AFK do not.
Overall, fighting versus Wolf anywhere that's not your high ground is kind of difficult. This Gyro still does not deal enough damage. He doesn't have that butterfly. He is strong right now. He has Manta, but he doesn't hit that hard.
But is he strong enough? Because they just smoked up.
And they're smoked up.
Singularity.
Oh, low ground.
Oh no, Shapeshift used. The stun comes out and Arc. The beating script follow up. They should be able to get him before he gives you the BKB. Flow does get the Prime Roar off, but he's got no HP to work with. And Yule's up on the spot. He knows what's going to happen when he comes down. Double kill for Nico. And GG, that's it. They know there's nothing left in the chamber for them. And Singularity, they take game one.
Yeah. I can actually feel some frustration in the way they GG there. They didn't even buy back or anything like that. And the BKBs were used, so if the Gyro bought back, he still had his BKB. The Zeus was in the back, still alive. They could have fought, but just the way that they were moving around their base was very strange in the end. Like coming from a player's point of view, like when you're moving like that in between two high grounds, behind Gyro with Crystal Maiden and Beastmaster, and your Gyro is on low ground. When you don't see anyone, it's very risky. So I have a feeling they just wanted this to be over with themselves as well.
It was looking pretty grim. Like, even if you buy back, you're already kind of like in this, I don't want to say staggered form, where you can get picked off on the retreat. On top of that, Prime Roar is already used. And even if you buy back, you don't really feel like you can then contest the Roche, which is what they would have done if you had.
Exactly. I mean, still though, as long as their BKBs are off, that's their opportunity. And the BKBs were used to kill that Gyro. So maybe, but they decided not to. They decided to spare us.
Spare us? What do you mean? We want some more action. Well,
I mean, spare us from the 20-minute high ground AFK.
Okay, that's fair. So they got about 14 minutes AFK on the high ground in the end. But don't worry, they're going to have an opportunity to make a total 20 minutes because we should have another game in just a few minutes. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.